So we're glad to have on Meaningful Life 101 as our guest today, Mark Centrella. He is a USPTA certified pro, and he teaches the pros how to be pros, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have Shane Racine, who is also USPTA certified professional tennis, and he's been playing, what, 15 years? Teaching 15?
Playing for 28, teaching for 15 plus.
There you have it. And then Mark, how long have you been playing the game?
Since I was 5. So only 10 years.
Only 10 years. Good for Mark. Good for Mark. And these guys, despite all of their professional accomplishments and distinctions, have taken me on as a case and are my personal tennis coaches. So we really appreciate them for that, because they are men who are willing to take on a challenge, these two. So our topic today, we've been talking about personal passion projects. And so the game of tennis is an interesting sport in that it has worldwide stars like Serena and casual fans and all kinds of fans, club players. But one of the aspects of tennis that is so frustrating and humbling and wonderful is that there are tremendous psychological learnings for all of us from the game of tennis. So I wanted to talk with Mark and Shane today and just kind of get a sense of from them, what do you see as some of the challenges of the tennis court that are applicable to life, and more importantly, applicable to crafting and cultivating a meaningful life?
Oh, would you like me to start?
Please.
One thing that I've said for years now is how I witness a student reacting in a tennis match is, I've concluded, very similar to how they would react in life. And when I say how they react, I'm referring to stresses on the court. And tennis is an individual sport. So all sports create a certain level of stress in somebody. However, I do think tennis is unique in that it's like boxing, it's like fencing, in that you only have yourself to look at when something goes right or wrong. So I think there's an added stress to that. And I see people on the court when I'm coaching them and they're in their matches, you see them, exemplify flight or fight, these types of responses. Whether they're going to hang in there and battle, or whether they're going to resign to the fact that they think they're losing. I see people developing the ability to take a step back and be creative and think about a new way to play if they're losing, or be stubborn and basically keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to be able to do it better, but having the same result. So basically what I'm saying is the stresses that occur in a tennis court and the way people handle them in a tennis match, I feel like is very exemplary of how they would handle it in real life situations too.
Right, and we all have patterns for how we manage stress. It was funny when you were talking, Mark, I was looking on court B, which we're on court A, and there's court B over there, and I had a flashback. One of the most stressful moments of my life was actually on that tennis court. And we can say it was illogical. I wasn't Serena. I didn't have any money at stake. I didn't have a world ranking at stake, but it felt that way. And I think there are times for all of us where a stressor maybe feels bigger than it is in reality. And so how do we step back from that and see that as an opportunity to learn? And an opportunity to learn not just about tennis, but about ourselves. And we all have certain patterns or ways that we relate to stress. So I think one of the key learnings from a sport like tennis or biking or any kind of sport that you have is when you do feel that competitive pressure, what is your relationship to stress? And do you understand your relationship to stress? And what do you aspire to in terms of how you want to behave under pressure? Shane, what would you like to offer?
Well, to piggyback on what you both said, you can categorize it positive or negative. When you deal with these situations, you can either have that growth mindset and see if you can find the good, see if you can find the challenge, where you can improve yourself and those around you, or you can be a victim. You can choose to be a victim and let it immobilize you. So if you can find the positive in all of those challenges, in that stress, there is definitely something that you can find that can help you grow and that can help others around you become more of what we want to be.
Yeah.
So that growth mindset, I think, like you said, trying to be positive and, you know, continually moving forward.
Yeah, I think growth mindset is huge, and that's a psychological researcher by the name of Carol Dweck.
There you are.
Mindset. Great book, and probably the most fundamentally challenging piece of research in our educational system in this century. And so for those of you in our audience who have children, I highly recommend the book. But Dweck distinguishes between what she calls a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And if we take the tennis court, and one of my personal challenges right now is, can I have a forehand with pace? Do I believe that I can have a forehand with pace? Will I embrace a growth mindset and think of that as ability of how much effort that I put into it, or will I think of it as, oh, I don't have the natural talent for that? And we can apply that to school, we can apply it to any challenge in our lives, which is, wow, what's my mindset? Do I think it is what it is, or do I really believe